Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading today is about your greatest challenge this year and how to overcome it. So, pile number 1, we have Scorpio, Cancer, Taurus, and Pisces. Sorry for the construction noise in the background. And your card is the Fox. For pile number 2, we have Sagittarius, Capricorn, Virgo, and Libra. Your card is the Water Dragon. For pile number 3, we have Aries, Aquarius, Leo, and Gemini. Your card is the Otter. Okay, I will give a moment for you to choose your pile using the card, the zodiac signs, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1, your card is the Fox. And before I go into the meanings of the cards, I want to get you some runes to see how we are approaching the Fox's energy, because there's so many different aspects to it. I will get you the runes. Well, actually 2. So okay, so we have Pertru, which is about destiny and mystery, and also about the feminine, almost like a womb. Okay, the feminine and the mystery, chance and destiny. Okay, and then we have the Yera rune, which is about cycles and harvesting. Interesting. So for some of you, this might have something to do with a change in your feminine energy. So for some of you, it might have something to do with hormonal changes, because this is also about female fertility. There's something mysterious about how that works in you. And I feel like there's a cycle. This year's challenge will be to deal with a great cycle related to that. So related to your ability to face that mystery of the feminine. And for others of you, this has something to do with a creation, something that you're creating, that you're like cradling and holding close or keeping secret. And I feel like the challenge here is that it's ending, that cradling, that sheltering and nurturing cycle is ending and something else is coming up. So that is a challenge. So if that's your creation, your project, the thing that you're working for is like your baby, and now it's time for you to give birth, to show that baby to the light, to expose. There's something about a secret that is now exposed. And there's a challenge there. It's a challenging position to be. And so this might also mean that you have to be more the center of attention, and you're not used to that, because what's interesting about the fox is that it's very it has this very like hypnotic movement. The way it moves is a bit like a cat. It's very elegant, the way the tail balances the movements of the fox. It's something that's very fascinating, and a lot of people also see it as a sort of seduction, let's say. That's why also the word fox is also used to describe someone who is very charming and seductive, and possibly has some sexual connotations. But I'm just focusing more on the attraction, like the charisma, the attraction, the fascination. Also with something secret. Fascination with secrets. I feel like I'm talking to people who prefer to have a very private life, and I feel like this year that's going to change a bit, and that's going to be very challenging. Okay. Is there anything more for pile number 1? Okay. Here it is. Let's see. Travel, seasickness, being lost, disorientation, release. Revisions, learning in silence, studying, reason, discernment. It's like you're preparing for something. And revelation, you're preparing for the moment of revelation, sudden change, authenticity, justice, ego death. There's something about this exposing to the light that challenges your ego. It's a lot of blue. Challenges your ego. And with all the blue, I also think that this is connected to the throat chakra, and also with the third eye chakra. So it's Vishuddha and Ajna chakra, if I'm not mistaken. And also the crown chakra. But mainly these two. So listening, communicating, maybe you will also have to speak a lot, to listen, to speak, to expose yourself, and that's going to have this strange effect, like you're drunk, like you're dizzy from everything that's happening, because you're not used to it. It's a bit disorienting, like the points of reference are not there anymore, because your routine might be a little bit turned upside down. Okay. Is there anything more for pile number 1? Okay. This one. We have Penelope, Dreamweaver. Interesting. Singer of Healing. A lot of blue. Sorry for that. And Iris of the Rainbows. It's all that blue. There also might be something blue about what you're doing. Maybe you're using this color a lot, or you want to use it, or there's something important about using that color blue. It's like a code for something important. And there's also the possibility of something giving you a bit of sadness, like the blues, giving you the blues. And maybe you also need to use that to heal. to transmute that energy into something creative, maybe like writing about what you're feeling. It's like there are two different aspects of the creation. There's the creative cathartic energy, and there's the creation. And they're kind of like it's two different rhythms that you're working on, and it's almost as if it's two different dimensions. One is like the dream state, like a parallel reality or astral, and the other is the more practical. But because you also have the Yera rune, I think that it's also the moment where you get the results of something that you have been cultivating and nurturing in the unseen dimension. Right. So what are the challenges really of this? Why is this so challenging? We have court. Maybe there's something legal, like laws, regulations. Main person that is behind. Expectation. You're waiting for something. And short illness. And you're waiting for something to clear, like a storm to end. You're waiting for the storm to pass. Okay, I feel like I want like an extra rune here to understand. Okay, actually it's 2 again. So, okay, we have the Wunyo rune. Celebration. And the Raido. Raido is movement, progress. It's like you can't wait for things to progress. You want to celebrate something, but you have to wait for a little while. You have to wait, the waiting. You're waiting for something. That's challenging. Maybe you're waiting for the results of this court issue here. Although it's behind you, you want to celebrate something. Okay. So now I think there's something else here for some of you. There's something else here that's really just focused on this specific situation that you've been working for, and maybe it has these legal implications. For some of you, it does have legal implications. So this year is all about solving this legal issue or issues, because there might be complex, like it might be a sequence of events. There's some kind of sequence here also. Steps, a sequence, waiting for the sequence to end. Maybe it's a contract that you have to wait for it to end. You have to wait for something to pass. Maybe it's a law, like you're waiting for something to be written in law or made law. This is for some of you. So the moon, it's really like the other side, like being on the other side and then suddenly having to step into the light to reveal, to expose Maybe you're also exposing someone else and you have to wait for the right moment to expose everything. Strength. It's really self-restraint, waiting, patience. Six of Pentacles. Wow. This might have some kind of financial result for you. Okay, sorry. Queen of Cups. Financial and emotional. And the Two of Pentacles. You know, I feel like this is that change in routines that you have to deal with after something gets solved, after this movement. Okay, so where is this leading you? Seven of Swords. And the Six of Cups. So these are really two very different energies. One of being cloaked and hidden in secret. So again, that fox spirit. And then the Six of Cups is just embracing the inner child and having fun and letting things flow, being very spontaneous, authentic, and lighthearted. So this is a joyful state of being. It has nothing to do with the Seven of Swords. The child has nothing to hide. It's just really chasing joy and happiness and sharing it with the world without any sort of second thought or restraint. So this is a challenge. So the challenge is transitioning from this energy to this one. That is the challenge. Or to achieving a beautiful balance between the two, because maybe that is also what is wise, what is smart, because that's also a big characteristic of the fox is guile. Not in a negative sense. And this is very positive. So we'll get you some more advice here, because I feel like you need some like ideas of how to achieve this balance, or how to be elegant in the transition. What is it that you need to do? Okay, we have Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. Look at that. We have three knights. Two of Wands. King of Swords. Two of Swords. And the Five of Swords. Okay, so I just want to clarify this row here of the knights. Three knights in a row. Is there something else that you want to? Five of Cups. Okay. So this row here is more about the absence of the Knight of Wands than just the presence of all the other knights. So it's as if you've tried these different aspects of yourself. Okay, I tried to work hard. I tried to open my heart to the quest at hand, to be direct in my wants, my with my emotions, dealing with the emotions of others also. I tried to deal with those. I also tried the rational approach, good ideas, like being strategic, exploring the world of ideas, but somehow something is missing. And I think it's the authenticity and the spontaneity of the Knight of Swords, sorry, the Knight of Wands. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and Knight of Swords, they're present, but the Five of Cups is in the place of the Knight of Wands, where the sequence would be complete. It's like the motivation. What motivates you is something is missing in that. And it's, I think, a lack of spontaneity, of also maybe accepting that sometimes you're not okay. And it's okay not to be okay. Accepting how you feel in the moment, accepting how things are. I think there's something to that. Like there's something about you focusing more on the moment, on your own authenticity, on not giving so much space to others if they're not making space for you also, because the Five of Swords is also about, and it's the advice part of the reading, it's also about you focusing more on yourself. It can sound a bit egotistical. It can be a bit egotistical at times. But maybe that's the challenge for you also, is that you are able to navigate this transition from being cloaked into being more open if you're a bit more centered in your own experience. So it seems like this year, your greatest challenge is going to be this transition from secrecy or cloaking to exposing, to being authentic. And it can also be a bit abrupt. And maybe that's also why there's this short illness here, this Iris of the Rainbows. Iris of the Rainbows is like a storm that is passing, because you can already see the rainbow. So you see the end of the transition. It's coming to an end. So it's a very short period here that I see a bit of a shock or a healing process that happens. Because it's you accepting and embracing a different person. There's a transformation here. But it's because you need to be complete. It's the search that's going to end. And that search ends with you also being a bit self-centered in a sense, because you're being challenged to be more focused, to get what you want, like to be someone who just goes for what they want, and they're not too worried about what other people think, or if they are going to cause a little bit of discomfort to others, because they laugh in the face of adversity here with the Two of Swords. They laugh in the strife, in the conflict. It's like it's funny. It's all a part of the you know, the whole experience of you also enjoying yourself and enjoying being you in your fullest sense. So there is some kind of change in your routines that also might be uncomfortable. But I also feel like you've been dreaming of this for a long time. Maybe it's even lost, like this dream had been lost in this disorienting phase, and maybe it's because you thought it's never going to happen. I'm just hanging on to something that's never going to happen. It's something that it's an exchange of energy that you've been waiting to happen. So it can be something financial, it can be something material, a sort of material gain, but it can also be about your material existence in general, your body, your energy, your vitality. So prepare for something to be revealed in your life or exposed that can create a bit of discomfort. But if you focus on like not worrying about what happens around you and just focusing on you, I feel like that's the way you navigate this without a second thought. Like you shouldn't give this a second thought. Just do it. Just be yourself. It's like just be yourself and don't worry about the rest, because everything will fit into its rightful place after this. And I think that this transition from being more secretive, more private, a bit more hidden, maybe it's like kind of a slower pace of life, also enjoying that, and then having to go from that to, yeah, I don't care anymore, to hell with this, I'm just going to do whatever, comes to my mind right now. Just be authentic and be completely spontaneous for a moment and see where this goes. Just flow, it's a bit of a change. So, but it is, in a sense, strategic, because it's the right time to be like that. There's going to be, so be sure of that. Yeah, there's going to be a right time in this year to go from being this slower moving person that holds things together and does, the routine, and very calm and doesn't really show a lot to others of what they're doing. There's going to be the right moment to go for it and to just be in a completely different frame of mind, and it's a completely different life, really. It's just, I don't give a damn anymore. I just go. I just do what I want. And yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it will come with a bit of conflict, maybe. It will come with a bit of hardship, but I accept that, because that's a part of the experience, and that's a part of me. That's also part of me. It's the person who has to deal with that. And it's humbling at the same time, but it's not only for you that it's humbling. It might be a humbling experience for everyone in your life. But it's an expression of your joy and your wonder with wonder. It's, yeah, a new sense of wonder. So expect a little bit of friction in this transition. So one thing that I could confirm here is, like, when is this happening this year? Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups. You know, I see it seems like it's in a transition between seasons to me. Like from spring to summer or from summer to autumn. There's this kind of transition here with the Eight of Cups. There's something is on the move. And I feel like it's that sense of time passing by. So something is happening in between seasons. It can be, now that I think about it, I actually think that it's faster. It's going to be quicker than that. So I am doing this reading. It's a timeless reading, but I'm doing it I'm filming it in the winter. But the winter is almost ending. Sorry, I got a lot of images, but I'm not going to address everything right now. I have to frame these for later. I got something, but I think it's more for a collective, So I feel like if that's happening in this pile, maybe this is going to be the extended pile, but let's see if there's anything else. I feel like I'm going to make an extended version of this pile because there's something collective that's triggering this. Something in the collective that might be triggering this. And it's going to happen very soon because it's in the transition from winter to spring. Okay. So I'll leave it to that. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. Sorry, I was going to say number 3. I don't know why, but yeah. So you have the water dragon, and I felt like this has something to do with the past for you. Maybe memories, something that's deeply buried that's coming back. It feels like it's like buried under some specific emotion that might be triggered by something that's happening. Okay. So, okay. What do we have here? Okay, so this is the Gebu rune. And this is about generosity or talent. It feels like talent, yeah. There's maybe a hidden talent that's coming up to the surface. And why is it challenging? Okay, let's see. This one and... okay. So we have visions, synchronicities, confirmation, and exploration. Perfume, instinct, camouflage, sublime, liberation. And mutation, sudden change, authenticity, justice, ego death. And this is the one card that has the error in the deck that I didn't change because I feel like it's a sign of some kind of connection with the other card. And actually the other card that has the same meanings, it's in pile number 1 in the same exact position. And I believe it's the revelation card. Mutation. But it's actually also something that is going to confirm maybe a suspicion that you have. Something that's going to confirm. You're going to get confirmation on a vision that you had in the past. Maybe it's some kind of a prophecy that you had access to. So what is that? The blank card. Wow. What are you going to do with it? The bodacious Boda. And the oak man. Possibly someone older than you, or wiser at least, told you something in the past. And I don't think that you really knew what to do with it until this challenging moment. And I feel like this has something to do with a talent that you have to use, that maybe you've postponed, or you didn't want to go down that route. But I feel like this year is possibly going to challenge you in that direction. So is there anything else for pile number 2? No, I don't feel so. Okay. His thoughts. Main person and marriage card. I think you're going to choose to go down a specific route in your life that has this like predetermination or prophetic nature to it. And then you have the Berkana rune. This is about birth, marriage, motherhood, creation. But you have the marriage card, and then you have marriage again. So for some of you, this might be about your marriage or about marriage in general. Maybe you're deciding to get married. Maybe you are changing your views on marriage itself because there's something that comes back from the past and changes with mutation. It comes back and it changes. It also changes you, but the idea itself is also changing. Maybe it's because you're applying it, or you get it. You're freeing yourself. That can also be for some of you. You're freeing yourself from a marriage or from something related to a marriage. And I also sense that someone told you in the past something about this marriage, or something about your life or how it should be. And it seemed like it was an interference also. There was this energy of interference. And I feel like with time passing by and your experience, there's something that changed about how you view that interference, that experience. And I'm saying this because you have his thoughts too. So there's this psychic energy kind of intervening or interfering with you, but it's in the past because main person has their backs to his thoughts. So, in marriage card can also be contracts. It can also be you kind of fusing or marrying, you know, some kind of idea. Like, I am deciding to commit myself to an idea, to a specific path. Committing yourself to a specific path that was talked about, or there's some kind of predetermined aspect to it and prophetic aspect to it. Princess of Swords. Whoa, sorry. 10 of Pentacles. Justice. And the Strengths. Sorry. The keyword is strength, but it's actually 9 of Wands. Not strength card. Queen of Wands. 6 of Pentacles. This is a star of the show, being the star of the show. And with the 6 of Pentacles, that's a lot, that's material success here. That's achieving something, being the star in something. I feel like this is also about confirming something in your life. Like, I was meant to do this. This is my destiny. This is my destiny. Now I understand my destiny. Now I understand why this person said that to me and why it had such an impact on me. Even if it's not like a literal translation of what they said. It's also about you like having your own opinion and your own conception of what the person told you, your own understanding. Because I don't think that at that moment when you receive that kind of prophetic knowledge about yourself, or it's like you couldn't really apply it because it didn't have the experience to back the you know, to have the knowledge to understand what was being said. 2 of Cups. The Empress. The 5 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. This specific 6 of Swords sometimes has some kind of religious aspect to it. Maybe there's something that you're leaving behind. Like a sort of a preconceived idea of that, or because you connected this specific way, spiritual way, to a specific person, and maybe you were disappointed at them, or there was an aspect of discomfort. Okay, so we have the Prince of Cups and the Devil. The Fool and the 4 of Wands. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the marriage again. and the conclusion of the celebration, the conclusion, the putting a ring on it, and putting it in writing also. It feels like that's the greatest challenge for you this year, is to face that there's a lot of ego pressure here too. There's a lot, the challenges is also about you. I think you're all, It's like, am I going to make a fool of myself? I feel like shame. There's shame. Maybe you were ashamed of something, and this memory triggers that shame. But what is this disappointment? Because I thought it wasn't that powerful, but I feel like that's also one of the things that is happening here, is that maybe you're underestimating the power of an emotional memory that you have related to someone in your life. Because you have the Empress here, it might be the mother line, the mother energy in your life, and whoever represents that for you. So what is this disappointment about? And why is it so deep? Six of Cups. Because it made you lose joy. The joy. Eight of Pentacles. It feels like you got really good at losing joy. At not having access to what gives you a lot of joy in life. You got used to it. You got good. So you're good at not experiencing joy and pleasure and the good things in life. You got good at restricting that in your life, at living without, being kind of it's like a miser's energy. It's also like you have a technique of how to divert the energy of what gives you pleasure and joy into other things, maybe directed at work, like effort, work, the grind, the hustle. But there's shame, because there's shame. Did somebody shame you for having good things in life, for enjoying yourself? It's like there's a shameful way of doing that, and you had to redirect that energy. So now you have to face it again, because I feel like you, in order for you to have this energy, that's the purpose of this reading, the purpose of this transformation in the challenge this year, is that if you don't learn how to be the life of the party and how to shine your light unapologetically and shamelessly in a way. I mean, not in a very controversial way. Actually, it's not controversial at all. It's just that there's some kind of holding back that needs to end. The Queen of Wands doesn't hold back. That's not one of the features of the Queen of Wands at all. And but it brings you a lot of success. The Queen of Wands with the Six of Pentacles. It's you really also sharing and being able to radiate outwardly that sense of self-acceptance. It's about self-acceptance. This is the challenge here. So I feel like the self-acceptance here has something to do with some kind of marriage or some kind of relationship. It can be even all the relationships in your life require you to go deep into what are you ashamed of? And there's some kind of trigger. There's going to be a trigger for this. And I feel like that trigger might have something to do with marriage. With your own marriage, with somebody else's marriage, I don't know. Because it is in your future. So there's something. Something happening. You're getting married, you're getting remarried. There's kind of this reevaluation of what is marriage. There's a reevaluation of a relationship or all of the relationships in your life, because there's this change happening, all the other relationships have to adjust. There's this adjustment here, but there's this confrontation with something that ashames you, or that ashamed you in the past, and that you have to recover and reframe, because it doesn't belong here. It's also about you growing into this oak man, like being wiser. Being wiser to face a specific situation, a challenging situation coming this year, means that you're liberated from shame. Because you have everything that you need to face this, except this doesn't belong. So it feels like the challenge this year is also about letting something leave your life, letting it go, and not so much about accumulating more things. Because it seems like when you release yourself from that shame trigger, things just happen much more smoothly. Because the Queen of Wands it's also about spontaneity and this extreme self-acceptance, like being very present. It's also about presence. It's also a very interesting aspect of the Wands suit, is that it has this intense spirituality tone to it. It is also about intensity itself in whatever the theme you're trying to study, intensity in general, but it's also about presence of spirit, having the awareness, the presence. Because you're not very present if you're thinking about the things that you're ashamed about yourself. Your attention is diverted. And maybe it was a very good technique. It's a good technique to maybe overcome a period of grief where you lost something that you loved, and you got really good at diverting that energy. Maybe you're searching for someone, like you're searching for a person that you've lost. And now I'm seeing the blank card more as a kind of an emptiness, especially related to the water dragon. It's a lot about the unconscious, and it's very hard to understand the message of the dragon, the water dragon. It's very hard to understand because we just feel it. It's something that comes very raw into our life. So it's maybe this is also a year where you will face a lot of raw emotions in your life. And that you're going to have to reframe this technique, this skill that you've developed. It has to be different. It has to be used for a different purpose. Okay. So maybe this year also needs you to reskill. Let me just confirm this part here. It's like there's a retooling of something. But does this have everything to do with relationships, or because I saw like something more like work related? Okay, 3 cards all at once. Interesting. So 3 of Swords, Ace of Swords, and Strength card. It does feel more like professional to me. Although it does impact your life holistically, I feel like you have to retool, reskill. Maybe you'll have to learn a skill, or there's some kind of work that you're doing that's going to change so much that you have to search for another way of doing things. I don't think it's something that's very obscure. It seems like you know what to do. And I actually think that this reading is giving you this heads up. It's like, when I saw this, I was like, heads up, warning. You can start now. You can start now, because you will have, if you start now, when the time comes, you will already have this strength. This is a strength card. So, and I saw strength. So this is just confirmation that's this persistence, effort. It can also be effortlessness. So it's the wise use of energy, because you make just the right effort, not too much, because you will hurt yourself, and not not too much, but not too little, that you get overwhelmed by the lion or the beast. So yeah, some kind of retooling this year. And I don't know, but maybe, okay. So I think that if you know that you'll have to address something subconscious, some kind of shame here, or guilt, shame and guilt, all very tough emotions to deal with. There are a lot of techniques for that. And if I find something useful related to that, and I really love the I think it's Dr. Martinez approach to those kinds of emotions. Some of his work is inspired by Buddhism, and I'll try to find the specific ones for shame and guilt. It's a very interesting approach. It's very easy to understand and intuitive. So, because now I understand that this Queen of Wands is also about confidence. So addressing that shame and guilt from the past that's related to someone that have had this impact on you, and they left a very powerful memory about yourself, about connections, about relationships, even about marriage for some of you. And it's enduring, and you have to address that, because somehow it will make you more confident, and it will also help you pivot and address this. And given this heads up, you'll be much more confident to then have this consistent effort and this retooling mindset, and being optimistic, because with the devil here, the devil, the king of cups, and the fool, it feels like some things can be a bit disorienting for you, but you're supposed to do this anyway. It's like, even if you're disoriented, do it anyway, and you will only manage to go from this devil holding on to things and protecting your ego in things that are not liberating for you. You go from that state into the faith, the leap of faith that is the fool. If you're confident, work on your confidence, and everything will be easier for you. Even change and challenges, any challenges, everything that's possibly changing for you, specifically in the professional area. It's very ironic, because it's like taking care of your relationships is going to take care of your career somehow. There is a connection there. And that connection comes from that moment of you diverting the energy from love and joy and pleasure, the good things in life, diverting that energy to like hard work and perseverance and diligence. It's like you're diverting too much of that energy into this energy. Too much of the pleasure is going into the work, and that is ruining your self-confidence, which is not productive. What is productive is for you to be confident. Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, your card is the Otter. And the Otter is all about playfulness and freedom. When I saw this card, it really resonated with me, the term freedom, because I really focused on this fish here jumping. It's really this playfulness and the joy of being alive. So, wow. Doesn't really sound like a challenge, but let's see. What do we have for you? Okay, these two. So again, wow. So I moved them around and shuffled them, but here we are. So we have the Thurisaz rune and the Gebu rune. Okay. So sorry for that. I guess that there's something about this freedom that also creates a bit of a conflict, or maybe there's something dangerous. Maybe you want to experiment with something risky. But it's also because you're quite confident in your skills. Let's see. What else do we have? Whoa. For pile number 3. Okay. So we have revisions, learning in silence, studying, reason, discernment, diet, sacrifice, discipline, and forgiveness and cure, origins, loss, trial and error, warrior spirit, survival, and armor, amplification, shield, honor, ceremony. Right. I guess you really feel protected. You're going to feel protected at the right time, but there's something happening before, just before. This one. This is like a sequence of events here. Oh, that gnome. Okay, this is, to me, it's related to the otter spirit, that doing something outside of the norm, doing something outside of your routine. Lysta Moon's daughter. He of the fiery sword. And Gluminous Doom. It's like you're laughing in the face of adversity, like you're having fun doing something challenging, because you want to end sadness, because you want to end a sadness, or to end sadness in general. It's a battle against sadness. We have house. Sad news, again. Success in love. And a little child. The playfulness. To me, this reading is a lot about humor and laughing in the face of challenges and laughing at sad things, or finding the comical side of the tragic, of the tragedy. So finding some kind of humorous approach to a serious problem. I almost feel like you're kind of trying to make fun of someone to see if they break that shell, that rigidity that is holding them in place, that is making them maybe make mistakes, that is making them stagnated, confined. And you're like dancing around them. I see like this picture of you like dancing around the person, trying to make them laugh, and they're like very sad and very, you know, like this I mean, there's a lot of comical energy in this one, although it's all about the sadness. I feel like he's so funny. His face is actually so sweet and funny. It's adorable. So I don't know. It feels like there's someone in your life that is representing this kind of sadness. Maybe they're too hard on themselves. They sacrificed a lot of things. It doesn't feel like this sadness is yours. It just feels like it's a part of your life, and that you have to deal with it, and you kind of make the best of it, and you try to transform it completely into this funny thing. Celtic Owl, the Hanged Man. This has something to do with the oh that no energy too, like doing different things, string experimenting, being free, feeling free to freeing yourself, liberating yourself, being free to experiment, to try things that you've never tried before, to shake up the energy around, specifically around this other person. Two of Scrolls and the Ravens with the Magician. There's some kind of playfulness. The Ravens are very playful too, and they also they're kind of an illusionist. They have this way of tricking you too. Tricking someone into doing something, maybe? Okay. Storyteller. The Hermit. Yeah. And the Sorceress. The High Priestess. Kali, the Tower. That's a lot of major arcana. The Minstrel, King of Stones or Pentacles. Okay. Eight of Stones. Seven of Scrolls. Nine of Stones. Three of Mirrors. The Hermit and the High Priestess. Okay, so I feel like I'm talking to people who know how to work with the energies, who know how to talk to spirit, and also how to invoke the wisdom of the people who have passed and to transmit it. There's something significant happening this year for you related to that. So if you're not working with this kind of technique, let's say, channeling, scrying, energy healing, if you're not working with the wisdom of the beyond, of the other world, it's going to be the year where you will start doing that. I feel like you are healing sadness. So now that I see this, maybe it's not just one specific person, although I saw someone working with a person who is sad. But it's maybe just a picture, like a snapshot picture of what you are going to do as your routine. It's your new routine. That's how you work now. You work with the sadness of others. You work around it. I see you also kind of tricking them into laughing. It's like the jester energy. It's enchanting. It's fun, and it's also cracking the body open, like cracking that shell, that rigidity that is around that stubborn sadness and weight. So you crack it open by tricking it into laughing. And the person laughs and the work can continue because the energy now is fluid. It's not stagnant. If you already work in this kind of field, there's something happening this year, maybe a specific person that is particularly challenging, that is going to amplify your power. And I feel like working with this person is going to be like a sort of initiation ritual for you. Maybe you also might be guiding them through ceremony or ritual, and it becomes also an initiation for yourself. It might have something to do with the inner child, working with the inner child because of the otter, and you have a little child, and oh, that gnome. If you are focused on this kind of work, maybe it's just for yourself or for someone in your friend circle, your family, or this is your work here. Although this might have a specific financial gain or material sustenance connected to it or not. I don't think that that's necessary for some of you, but if it is, then you know how things operate, and this otter spirit can inspire you to amplify this aspect of your powers, maybe the specific capacity for laughter, for seeing the comedy side of life, the comedic side of life. I always, when I say these kind of things, I always remember the Monty Python sketch when you have the crucified, the crucified. I think it's the Life of Brian. The crucified are singing, "Always look on the bright side of life." It's like that. It's that kind of humor. It's not for everyone, I know, but I love Monty Python, so I'm biased that way. I love all their movies and series and their humor, the kind of humor. And maybe, yeah, watching series, TV series and movies that make you laugh like that, like genuinely make you laugh because they also address like very fundamental tragic aspects of life. And I think that Monty Python does a really great job at that, at finding those really poignant discussions and making fun of the things that are challenging to us and that have to do with life and death and with in religion and taboo. So yeah, maybe you're working with people who have a lot of set beliefs, and that makes them very rigid and very unfunny. So with He of the Fiery Sword, I feel like you have to pierce through that harsh exterior, that barrier that is going to show itself to you. So the challenge here might also be to find that in yourself, because you will have to do that for yourself first and then bring the other people with you, bring the other person with you. So you might find that there's a specific person in your life that's going to be more challenging like that. It's going to be harder to laugh around that person and to feel lighter, to have fun. And that's when you'll know that this is your initiation. So this is a very specific reading for some of you, and very focused on those of you who already work in the healing and channeling and energy work field. So you will know very well when the time comes to develop this new skill, to take it to another level, to amplify it through ritual and ceremony. I even think that you might create a new ceremony with this person, a new, you're creating, you're channeling a completely new way of healing through laughter. And there's the yoga, type of yoga for that, I know already, but I don't think it's that. It's something that's very personal. It can be very quiet. I don't think it's something that you do in groups. It seems like it's something that you do one-on-one, or it's something written, because it feels like a private experience, like reading a book, transmitting through written word, or transmitting through recorded voice, guided meditations, or one-on-one therapy. It seems like very personal. It's a very personal situation that has very specific characteristics, and that you will, in the moment, find a creative way to change that person's life. And I also think that you will realize something about this person, and that you might be connected on the other side in the astral and in or soul. You will find a place of connection with this person that's very new to you. So that's also part of the initiation for you. But you will be very successful in doing this. So, and also with the Nine of Stones here, if you already do this for a living, this will be a moment of great success to you. Like if you, it's almost as if people are saying, if you can treat this person's sadness, you will be like the highest exponent in this field, because you will do something that maybe many have tried before and couldn't do. So you will be also enhancing your reputation with this. And that's not the point of this, of course, but it will happen if you turn this around. It will give you a lot of financial success and material stability too, if this is your profession. But if it's not, if you just do this because it's a natural skill, it's a natural talent, that's fine. Okay, just let me confirm something here, because we do have the Thurisaz rune, which is about danger, fear. Golden flower with temperance. Because it is a path of because it is a path for you to amplify your ability, your skills. It feels like it will test you with in a confusing way. It will try to confuse you. And that's the danger here, is that you stop focusing on the fun, and that you're suddenly confused and embroiled in your own sadness. I feel like it will try to ensnare you, to confuse you Ah, okay. Because it is that energy, it will give you the skill to trick a sad energy into laughing, and even laughing about themselves. But because it's the skill of the trick that is going to be transmitted to you, it also has the power to trick you. And the danger is that you end up tricking yourself. It will come as a riddle because you have Lies to Moon's daughter. It will come as a riddle. Maybe it's a question. Maybe the person asks you a question and it's a tricky one. It doesn't have a very straightforward answer. Or it is very simple and maybe you try to complicate it, and maybe the person's energy is already complicating it, and it needs to be cut through. You can't allow, it's like you can't allow something. You have to have the shield up. Even if you want to laugh, you have to be protected. You can't just let your guard down when you are trying to destroy this rigid structure, because this rigid structure is not at all protection for this person. It's actually the crystallization of sadness, and that's not protective. It's an illusion. So that's the danger here. And I don't know why this can also be, it's very specific, but this can also be a metaphor for something that is happening in your life. But I do feel like this is specifically for people who work like this, and this is going to make sense somehow. Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.